finisher. There she is, in focus.
Come, take up yoga, you'll find it beneficial, man.
What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So the dust has settled on finishing Ironman 2021. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Basically I just thought I'd give you a full recap of the day. I thought I'd break down my training, just my whole experience of Ironman, the whole build up day, like what it was like to finish, what it was actually like in the middle of the race. So this video might be quite a long one, but yeah, for those that want to listen, obviously just listen in. I've got a few clips of me actually on the day and throughout the race. I'll show you those as well just to make it a bit more interesting. So yeah, let's get into it. One of my main takeaways from the whole experience and the whole Ironman thing, and it's not even really related to Ironman, is I think it's always important in life to have something to aim towards. It was a date in the future that I was working towards, and my whole life was kind of structured, not my whole life, but like a big part of my life was structured around achieving this goal on this day. And that's the advice I'd give people. Aim for something in your life. If you want to do a half marathon, book a half marathon. If it's, you know, 2-3 months away, 6 months away, a year away, just book it. Then you're committed, you've got skin in the game, pay for it, 200-300 quid, whatever it's going to cost, and then you just work towards it. You know, even if you think you can't do it yet, you've got a whole year or 6 months or whatever to work towards it. So plan something in advance, get it booked in, your mind and body will find a way to do it. For me, it's about having that structure, about having that event in the future really. So that was a big part of it for me. A bit of backstory about why I wanted to do an Ironman. My mum used to have a lodger, her name was Rachel Rutherford. Quite simply, she inspired me to do an Ironman. She was about 22 when she did her first one, so I think she's done like 2 or 3 now. And yeah, she just tackled this amazing Ironman. She'd done one in Hawaii, in Kona, and then she'd done one in Lanzarote, I think. Whenever I went home, she was there training all the time, just doing like crazy amounts of training, and it was just this epic thing she had done. Yeah, she inspired me basically to like sign up to one. So shout out to Rachel, you can follow her Instagram here. Yeah, you were the inspo for it all really. So yeah, first signed up to the Ironman back in September 2019. I'll put a picture in here. The plan was to do it July the next year. Obviously, we all know what happened. COVID.
No, we vaxxed up trying to get our sacks tucked.
Started training like maybe January, I think, getting on the bike, going out for runs, started swimming, and then obviously by like March time 2020, it was clear it wasn't going to happen. So that event actually got pushed back, but everyone had to defer their place until 2021. So I basically stopped the rest of my training. I stopped like swimming and I stopped running. I'm a cyclist anyway, so I carry on cycling throughout the whole of 2020. So that was it for the year, and then obviously we had to wait until the following year. So these things happen, but it was a bit frustrating at the time. Obviously you want to get it done, it's in your mindset you're going to do it, and then you start training and then find out you're not doing it. So that was a bit frustrating, but it was the same for everyone. So I would have liked to have got it done in 2020, but it was a no can do. So yeah, fast forward to December 2021, and that was kind of where my training started. December 2020 came around. I actually went to Tenerife on a bit of a cycling holiday basically, which is always like a camp. Came back, obviously Christmas, and then sort of January, February I was cycling, and then to be honest I didn't start properly running and swimming until about March. Now for my training, I'll be quite honest, I actually didn't follow, I don't advise this, but I actually didn't follow a training plan. I just knew, for example, I had to do 10 hours a week of solid training, so that meant for me a bike ride on a Saturday or Sunday, 3, 4, 5 hours, and a half marathon basically on a Saturday or Sunday. So I didn't do a huge amount of training, so it is possible without a huge amount of training, or it is possible without doing like 15, 20 hours a week, which I know some people do. But yeah, don't really listen to me on this one. If I did it again, I'd definitely get a coach, because I just wasn't that structured, but I knew I had to do it, and I still did it every week. And every weekend I was showing up, I was doing my training, I was out on my bike, I was doing half marathons, doing longer runs. I think the longest run I did was about 20 miles or 18 miles, I think. I was putting in the work, but I didn't follow a training plan at all. I wouldn't advise it. I mean, I was fine because I think that I was relatively fit, whereas like, yeah, I suppose other people, you'd want more of a structured training plan. So yeah, that was my take on training really. The night before, that was when England played Ukraine when we beat them in Rome, and I went to go and watch it with a few other people, and we were all shouting obviously, and like, I mean, I didn't drink anything, but obviously like just the hype of that game kind of meant that I got into bed and I was just like wide awake. 10 o'clock, half 10 when I got into bed, and I was just like tossing and turning. I was like watching the clock. It was like 11, half 11, 12. I was like, shit, I need to sleep. I just couldn't sleep. And I think our alarms were set for like 3:30 or 4 o'clock, I think we ended up pushing it back to, but I think the alarm originally was for like 3:30. I literally had 3 hours sleep, so it was tough. I feel like a lot of people would have been in that situation. Stress of the race the next day. I couldn't do it the year before. It was this mental thing of being dragged on for 2 years almost. If there was one bit of advice I can give, make sure everything's settled. I mean, everything was organised on my part. I just had to sleep, but maybe get into bed earlier than you think and just try and go to sleep earlier. Obviously the England game did not help one bit, so don't watch England before the race. So yeah, I'll put in a clip of me on race morning here. Morning, take two. We've just filmed it once.
Messed up. It's the morning of the Ironman.
Yeah, it's the morning of the Ironman, the 4th of July 2021. What time is it? It's 20 to 5 in the morning, 4 to 5 in the morning.
Who else would be up at this time of day?
Yeah, we're just driving to where we're parking this car today. Yeah, feeling alright. It's quite a nice day. There's not a lot of wind, which is good. Obviously we've got the swim first. You know, I didn't sleep that much. I only got about 3 hours sleep.
Terrible night's sleep.
Sort of tossing and turning.
Couldn't sleep, could you? No. It was pretty bad night's sleep. But
yeah, fingers crossed it should be alright. I can't imagine many people have slept that well, to be honest, so. All the training was done. All we had to do now was get the Ironman in the bag. Yeah, it was race day. All the hard work had been done in the training and that, and now it was just a case of completing the day, really. I want to kind of describe the feeling on the morning. It's quite a strange thing. It's like a mix of nerves and excitement at the same time. The thing is, when you get to Pennington Flash, when you get to the lake where like everyone's ready in the wetsuits and there's like hundreds of people there, it's quite like a magical feeling. And I'm not over exaggerating. Race morning has got like a aura around it, quite enchanting, and like everyone's there. Obviously, it's like 20 to 6 in the morning. It's actually a really nice morning as well. So yeah, it's just got this quite special feeling to it. Other people will be able to describe it. It's just quite special. It was. Yeah, so with COVID, they did a seeded start, so you basically had to seed yourself. There was like a big line. You had to seed yourself on your swim time. Obviously in the past you see like everyone diving in and going crazy. So my swim was about 1:10. I seeded myself like 1:10. So you're in the line with everyone, you kind of huddle together, everyone's nervous. So you start the swim and off you go. Start the swim, you do one big loop of Pennington Flash, come back in, actually get out, come around the timing thing, get back in. So you do 2 whole laps. And yeah, so I finished my swim. I did my swim in 1 hour 10, which is exactly what I was aiming for. That was like a fairly comfortable pace to me. I didn't really push the swim. I just thought there's not really a huge amount of point. It's such a small portion of the race in terms of time. So I'm just gonna, you know, just gonna do it steady. Maybe I could have gone a bit quicker, but trained at that pace. I was aiming for 1:10. It literally did. I think it was like 1:10, exactly 1:10. So came out, looked at my watch, and it was like 1 hour 10. So that was bang on. I was on pace straight away to begin with, and yeah, it went well. I quite enjoyed it. I think on the swim, unlike the bike, you are actually allowed to draft people, so I kind of figured it out. By the second loop, I sat in behind someone. They were probably getting annoyed, but I sat like right on their feet, obviously, and just sat behind them swimming. Why am I doing this? I think you do get a bit of a draft, similar to cycling. I don't think it's probably as much, but yeah, they sort of pulled me around. Obviously you finish the swim, jog out and into the bike racking area, get all your kit on. I basically chose not to wear a tri-suit. I hadn't really trained in one, I just wore all my Lycra. I just thought, this is what I've trained in, so I'm going to be comfortable. So obviously that meant my transition was a bit longer than normal. So when I came out, I was like, well, I'm going to be hungry as soon as I was out the swim. I made myself like a big ham roll. So you can actually see, my mum's got a video of me. I didn't know where to grab the roll and like eat it before I got on the bike. As I came out, I literally just started eating this massive ham roll. So the bike started, got on the bike. The bike actually was fairly straightforward. I consider myself a cyclist. I mean, I've been cycling all my life, but I've been cycling pretty solidly for like the last 4 or 5 years, I suppose, road biking. The bike leg was home to me. I was going to be fine on the bike. Yeah, good amount of climbing. I just took my time really, but I definitely left some out on the bike. I could have pushed myself way more on the bike, 100%, but I just was never sure of what I'd have left ready for the run. So I definitely underbiked, 100% underbiked. I think my bike time came in at about 6 hours 50 or something like that. So yeah, quite a long time. Knew that I obviously had the run next to do, so if I were to do it again, that was where I'd look to make another saving. One thing that did make the bike interesting though, there was 3 hours, I swear to God, there was 3 hours of just biblical rain. First lap it didn't rain, it was fine. Second lap it was just torrential downpour. There was drains that were unopened, there was surface water. It was like proper biblical rain for 3 hours, so everyone was soaking wet through. Luckily I had a gilet, but there was a lot of people just in tri-suits. You could tell they were just freezing. It just added that extra layer of spice really. There was people out in the road, ambulance, I don't know why I'm laughing. There were ambulances in the road, like people had crashed, come down some of the climbs, come down some of the descents, and there was just bodies everywhere. Saw bikes at the side of the road, absolute chaos. I don't know, lots of triathletes are pushing it and they're obviously super fit, but like when it comes to bike handling ability, I don't know, I'm not always sure, but yeah, there was a lot of people at the side of the road who had crashed. Yeah, in terms of emotion through the race, one of the main emotions that I remember feeling was coming back into Bolton on the bike on the final leg, and I just had this real sense of anxiety just about the run. I just was like, I cannot believe that I've just spent almost 7 hours on a bike and now I've got to do a marathon. Because that was actually the bonkers at the time. I just remember thinking like, shit, like how am I going to do this? I knew I'd left enough in the tank or whatever, and I knew I was fine, but mentally at that point, butterflies in my chest, in my stomach, just remember feeling so nervous. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, like got my shoes on, got changed. The transition, like from the bike to the run, kind of faffed around a bit. Like here's a video of me faffing around. I didn't know how to take my glasses. I wore this top actually, and I wore it for the first time, and I actually wore some shorts, some short shorts for the first time as well that I'd never worn before. The guidance is like, don't run in anything new or don't race in anything new. When I first set off, I was like, these are, I mean, I tried them on, but I knew they were short, but I was like, these are really short.
Hey, who likes short shorts?
I didn't have any boxes on. I was like, can people see my no, they were all right, and I don't think anyone saw my, so that's fine. Yeah, so set off on the run. I set off at a steady pace. When I first started, there was literally so many people running past me, and I was like, I'm just gonna stick at this pace, Like, running is not my strong point at all. Like, that was what I really struggled with in training. I really didn't enjoy running at all. To me, the running was the hardest bit of it. I'd swam a lot when I was younger. I'd cycled a lot over the last 5 years. It was the run it was gonna come down to for me, so I set off at a steady pace. So my average pace through the run was a 6:05 kilometre split. I first thought, well, I'll aim for like 5:50 to begin with, and I was doing like some 5:50s and then some 6-minute split. The thing is, I kept the same pace pretty much all the way through, but I did think if I could get under 4 hours, I'd be absolutely buzzing. That was too much of a push. I think it came in at like 4 hours 15 or 4 hours 16 I came in on the run. So by like the final hour, I just kept this steady pace. They say like walk through the feed stations. I think I walked through 1 or 2 feed stations. I just kept running, like I just kept going. Final 5K, which is like right through Bolton, like everyone's cheering and going mad, like cheering for everyone. It's such a crazy experience. Like then, yeah, and then I've got a video of me coming round. So like you come round, I had like a massive smile on my face. On like your final lap, you obviously go like in towards the bit where you finish. People are cheering, like people are clapping and stuff, and like you come through, and then like the commentator's like, Freddie, you are an Ironman or whatever. And then yeah, you've done it. But it's like such a good experience. Would definitely recommend it. And then you sort of finish, and then you're just like, wow, I've done it. What do I do now? Such a huge part of the Ironman for me is the atmosphere. There is literally thousands of people in Bolton shouting, cheering people's friends and family and everything like that. You close down all of Bolton, this event, that's how big it is. On the course, go through all little villages and stuff, people there, signs, people clapping, tri-clubs at there, all the way around the course there is literally support. I couldn't believe it. The atmosphere of the day, that is ultimately like what gets you through. The last 10, 15, 20k, that's just down to the support. It means you carry on going, and it's such a big part of it, it really is. can anyone do an Ironman? I think the answer to that is not everyone, but most people. I think most people could do one, definitely. Maybe do a half to begin with, give yourself a year, you know, get fit enough. I think most people can do it. I do. I think most people can do one. A lot of it's down to, you know, it's sort of a mental battle at the end of the day. I always think like all my cycling friends and people like that, they could 100% do one. People who I know, friends who maybe aren't as fit, might take them a bit longer, take them like another year to get that like base fitness up and whatever, but I think people can do it. If you put your mind to something, you can do it. So if you're thinking of doing it but not sure, just book it, get it booked in for like a year or two in advance. Yeah, maybe do a half the first year, then the following year do a full. 75% people can do it, I reckon. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you can give me a like or subscribe, that'd be great. I am going to try and start getting some more content out again. But yeah, let me show you the finisher's tee anyway. Let me show you the finisher's tee, baby. Yeah, so that's what you get when you finish. Let me show you the medal, baby. Get that in focus.